Good night, everyone. What's going on? We are busy as usual. Our man Gus could not make it on tonight because he came down under the weather. We hope and pray that he gets better, but of course, me, A Town down. We're gonna hold it down for you guys. Talking Union soccer, more so around the league and all those fun stuff. So, but of course, we're going to hit it right from the top. We have 9 days and counting until the big matchup between Union and FC Cincinnati. And first of all, Austin, where are you at right now as a Union fan, getting ready for the big matchup? Where are you this far out, looking at the big matchup coming up next Saturday?
I mean, I'm still confident. Philadelphia's been playing very well. I would like to think that they, continue that trend, especially against a team that had to sort of grind out a bit in Cincinnati. Which, shout out to New York Red Bull making them sweat, or not New York Red Bull. Oh my goodness, who did they play? My, I had all
New
this.
England Revolution.
No, not the Union. Cincinnati.
Cincinnati, who they knocked off? They knocked off New York.
Yeah, that's who I thought it was. Yeah, New York Red Bull. But yeah, New York Red Bull gave them a hell of a bit of competition. So it was really fun to see New York put up the fight that they did. It was a shame they went down, but Cincinnati did prove to be the better side at the end of that, especially with the first game going to as many PKs as it did. I think it went to like 8 rounds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, yeah. Listen, it went back and forth. Listen, a lot of best of threes this past weekend. Me and you and Gus were chiming in a little group chat and seeing what was going down. First of all, Joe, what's going on? Joe says, "Hey guys." He also asked, "Is the game going to be a national televised game or will it be on Apple TV?" Joe, I believe as of right now, it's going to be on Apple. But don't be surprised if things change. It's Saturday night, 8 p.m. I mean, that says prime time all over. Um, but yeah, like I said, yeah, they got by. The Union got by last week. Again, getting past New England. As a matter of fact, we're a little past that. So, but let's touch on some Union news. And one of the positives I could take away is that Julian Carranza was back on the field practicing. I've seen the pictures from our man Jose Nunez. Had a nice little picture up of him practicing, getting back in the rhythm. Um, so hey, listen, that's what they need out there. They're going to need a goal scorer going against this top team. Uh, what's your thoughts about him getting back on the field there,
I
Austin?
mean, well, getting Carranza back is huge. He's a very key component to the Philadelphia Union attack, and being able to get him,
Hmm.
back in training and hopefully available for selection. It's still 9 days out, so you have plenty of time for him to, get back into form, get back up to speed, and be ready to go for the 25th.
Yeah, absolutely. You want him up to speed. You want him, like you said, ready to go.
Mhm.
You're going to ask a lot for him. Just coming off a hammy injury, but still, you're adding depth to this lineup. Again, a pair of him and Quinn Sullivan could be really, really solid for this team. You're going to need it. You're going to need every piece of our offense you can get, you know, ammunition because that team is loaded with it. And you cannot take your foot off the gas pedal when you're facing the Cincinnati FC team. But speaking of though, Cincinnati FC, they made a contract extension here by bringing in Evan Loro. Does that sound right to you?
Let me see.
Uh,
Oh,
making a contract extension to him. So kudos, So again, you're going to be locking down on some players now. So before this transfer window comes up again, so it's going to be like I said, it's going to be fun times though. So again, Cincinnati FC is locking down all the doors and hatches. Pulling everything ready. Again, they are getting ready themselves for next Saturday. Next Saturday is going to be huge. Again, giving out contract extensions now. So they honestly feel like this team's going to make a deep run and all those sorts of things.
Yeah, I mean, locking in Loro to an extension is good because of the fact that he predominantly plays with the second team for the most part. But
Okay, so
having that goalkeeper pipeline still established is a good thing for them. So very solid signing. I mean, he's made 38 saves over 12 total appearances for the MLS Next Pro affiliate for Cincinnati.
hmm
And especially because of the fact that Celentano is a goalkeeper of the year candidate this year, it kind of makes sense to keep this guy around just for a good backup option for in case Celentano has to go away for international duty or he ends up getting hurt, God forbid. It's a
right,
good little backup piece for them to have.
right, and you're like you're saying, it's really you're not missing a beat as far as goaltending. When you sign a player of that depth, again, you are only making your team stronger. Like you said, in case of a potential trade or whatever the case may be, if he gets shift off the duties and so forth, you still have something in there and winning in the wings. So, right, you make a good point right there. Like I said, I can't wait to see what the Philadelphia Union. I can't wait to see this FC Cincinnati team lock up only 9 days away. Uh, for me though, looking at this potential matchup and how I'm feeling right now, at I'm gonna be I'm at 25% that they'll get this done. I want to I was I'm still not 50-50 that the Union can get this done. But that's a good feeling to have because I'm usually a mush, and when I'm a mush and I don't have good feelings, the opposite happens. So, um, but I just can't get a feel right now on what Union team's going to show up. And now if they've showed up like they did against New England, where they played a tough defensive kind of game, you pretty much have things in wrapped that hand here.
Yeah, I mean, you also have to take into mind the fact that the last time these two teams met, it was uh, a pretty rough game.
Yes.
Philadelphia went up early 2-0. Let let Cincinnati back into the game in the second half. A couple of red cards late in that match. So there's potentially still some bad blood between these two teams from stemming from the regular season. So you have to keep. I mean, I wouldn't say keep it in the back of your mind because it can eventually creep forward. Try and eliminate it from your mind completely if you haven't already, and
Mhm.
just come into this game as a fresh match between the two sides because you can't mess around now. Because if something happens and you know you get the double yellow, you're gonna miss the following match. So try and play as clean as you can, play as strong as you can at the same time, and hopefully if you get ahead, you don't take your foot off the gas because that's what you did the last time you saw them, and you don't want history to repeat itself.
Mhm.
Because especially if you have to go to penalty kicks, because you can only withstand a lot of that for so long.
Right, and again, I was there covering it, and yeah, it was raining, winning. It was raining, wind. It was ugly outside. It turned out to be a 0-0. It was a 2-2 tie.
Yep.
Like you said, the Philadelphia Union got on the scoreboard first. Everything looked all hunky dory, and then they open up the second half right away. Cincinnati gets on the scoreboard, and then they tie things up, and then boom, and we just ended a tie. But like you always said, though, when I think about this dogfight that's about to come in 9 days, I always think about the teacher versus student aspect of it. Patrick Noonan taking on his former protege, Jim Curtin, and I can't wait for both teams to get squared up 9 days away.
Oh yeah, it's definitely going to be a really solid match. It's two very similar play styles, um, two very solid coaches. I would assume Pat Newton more than likely going to win Coach of the Year this year. So
Right.
it's it's going to be fun. This match is going to be really really good. I'm very excited for it still, and as we get closer, the excitement just builds even more.
So where are you? Are you 50-50? Are you 75? Are you 25? Where are you at
Uh,
now?
I would say as of right now, I'm still sitting at about a 50-50. I'm keeping my eye on everything that happens to crop up, if anything ever does,
Mm.
over the time until the match. So there could be things that could sway it either way. You never know.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm kind of uh I wish I had a better feel on it. I wish I did. I mean, listen, they're here. That's granted. It feels like last year all over again. It's just that this Cincinnati team is really really good from top to bottom. They got playmakers from all over. Oh here, oh no, CTH has now popped her head
With
on the
CTH
screen.
69.
Yeah, CTH says, do the Union have any chance of beating Cincinnati? CTH, I'm gonna say they do. I'm just not feeling it. They do.
Yeah, I mean, even if the chance is small, it's not zero. You know,
Right.
I mean, there's still. I mean, just because of the fact that Cincinnati won the Supporter Shield, it gives them a bit more of an edge. They've been a very solid team this whole year long, but
Hmm.
they very easily could have done what St. Louis City did out west and bowed out. You know, they were pushed a bit to the limit against New York Red Bulls. So we'll see how Philadelphia coming into Ohio is gonna do.
Yeah, it's definitely a better atmosphere. Again, you're gonna be out there in their home. Um, yeah, and now, like I said, when you go from the best out of three, now it's just the one and dones. So
Yep.
now it just things are gonna get tougher. Things are gonna get uglier. Um, and we're gonna see what this team is made of. We are, and it sucks because it's a shame when it comes down to a Wagner's head is not in the right place at the right time. But I cannot worry about him. I gotta worry about what's on the field. Uh,
Exactly.
I gotta worry about, and that's why, like I said, I had the show on Sunday, and I said I gotta give, and I walked around to every head coach in the city. I said I gotta give Curtin his due. I said with all the backdoor drama that's been going on as of late, he hasn't paid attention to it. He's just worried about taking his team from here to here and trying to win the championship. And
Yeah, that
he can't
that
worry about the
yeah,
behind the
and that's
curtain
what
distractions.
yeah, and that's exactly what you have to do. You have to keep the team focused on the next match that's ahead of them because the second that you don't do that, you're not really coaching then. Because if
Right.
you're not preparing for that next match that you have, that's going to leave you in a deficit. So
Right.
Curtin has done that all the time. Anytime like because we've been down there, you'll hear people talk about matches that are coming up later on, and he'll be like, I'm not worried about it right now. And that's the way you have to be. Like you can look at your schedule as a whole and be like, wow, we play some solid opponents, but you always have to focus on that next one up because any single time that you set foot on a field, it could end up going the completely opposite way that you're quote unquote expecting it to.
Right, and that's like I said, that's one of the main things I thought was unique about, and that the whole team thinks the same way. They don't worry about the big game 2 weeks from now. They don't worry about this. They don't worry about what could happen down the road, but they worry with the task. That's just one game at a time. That's how they
Yep.
take it. One game, one road, one diamond, and that's what it is. It's just
Yeah.
take one game at a time. I'm pretty sure that those guys have been in the rooms. If they haven't, you've seen they're out practicing. I'm pretty sure they're doing the film work and such. And listen, same goes the opposite way. I mean, this is this is Jim Curtin's student. He knows Jim
Yeah.
Curtin, the back of his hand. So if you don't think Patrick Newton is not doing the same for uh, Acosta and all those other guys, they're sitting there breaking film, practicing and getting ready for the big game.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is going to be a Thanksgiving weekend heavyweight matchup, and I can't wait. I'm jonesing for it. I'm looking towards getting this done and moving forward. So, but yeah, like I said, with all that being said, though, we have some. Uh oh. uh,
There he
what's
is.
his? Jose. This guy, he's got more PTO time on EOP than anybody else, buddy. I'll tell you. No, he's under the weather, believe it or not. So he said he had to leave work early and all that fun stuff. But good call, good call. I appreciate it, Jose. Uh, so, um, but anyways, like I said though, big game coming up, next Saturday, only 9 days away. Jose, if you're out, listening to the show, I want to know where are you at exactly, or where are you? Are you 50-50? I'm more 25. Austin feels a little bit better than I do. He's 50-50 right now. Where are you guys at? Chime in the show, fans, please. I mean, I know we're only 9 days away. I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear that if you're in a better place than I am.
It's close
uh,
enough, Jose. It's
yes, 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 yes. Very, very close. Uh, yeah, well, yeah, I think my man was out there partying. I know his dad partied hard pretty there. Jose, my man, he's got the jersey. Gus's whole family was going nuts. I seen all the pictures on Facebook and Instagram. Yeah, it was just wild.
yeah, man.
Uh, but anyway, again, but Austin, the Philadelphia Union, they made a move today, right? Can you tell us about it?
Yeah. It was Sanders and Gabo. I have to bring the information back up on him because I clicked away from it for a quick second. He's
Okay.
a I believe it was a midfielder, if I recall correctly. From dude, where did it go? I literally had just
Dutch.
had it. Yeah. He's a Dutch youth international. I'm just trying to remember the name of the club that he came from. It was a lot. But let me find it. I had it literally right here, and I moved one page, and apparently too much happened.
It happens. So I mean, like I said, I know he's a young puppy. I know he's going to be headed to the Union
He
team
was
next year.
from Lyngby Bold Club, a Dutch side, and they're expecting him to be here for 2024. His contract runs until 25, and he has a club option for 26 and 27.
Okay. Okay. So I mean, do you like the move? I mean, what's the history? Is he a good goal scorer? I mean, what's going on?
He's a solid midfielder coming from the Dutch Superliga. He made 29 appearances, 2 assists, scored a goal. Um, he's been he's been on the U19 squad for the Danish First Division.
Okay.
I mean, I feel like it's a solid move. It's a young talent that we could develop in our system, and looks like they feel like he could definitely fit some of the stuff that we're trying to do here. So I can't wait to see him next season, get some reps in hopefully, and get to see a lot more of him as time goes on.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. So, like I said, the Philadelphia Union are making moves. Again, bringing some puppies up. Again, signing some things. Sign someone. But to furthermore, you and Gus are a perfect one-two punch is finding these players from all around the world. Like that's what I love about you guys. You guys know these players. So the New York Red Bull also made a move to already to gear themselves up, going after one who they got Emilia Forsberg. Am I
Emil
saying that right?
Emil Forsberg.
From
Yep.
Germany?
Yes, he played for Red Bull Leipzig. Um, he was the 2021 Gold Ball and award winner, which is Sweden's best footballer of the year. He's been voted Swedish midfielder of the year 4 times. 32-year-old guy. Uh,
Mm,
Someone that I think they can just bring in for a little bit more experience because their team is not incredibly filled with like uh, solid veteran leadership, I guess you could say.
right.
So I think he's definitely one of those guys that's more meant for his off the field capability and some of his on the field capability.
Well, then, like you just said, so what the New York Red Bull are looking for, they're looking for leadership. They're looking for someone who can score, who can be that voice, could pretty much, maybe a little, no knock on Bedoya, but maybe be the Bedoya, but just with a little bit better skill set. So, someone of that realm, again, just try and make the New York Red Bull better what they were. Look, they just got into the playoffs. Uh, Kudos to them for going outside and really doing some their homework and bringing a kid like a veteran player like this. So again, he's going to get his taste in the MLS. We'll see how he pans out. I mean, again, so like I said, a lot of moving parts. One thing about the MLS soccer here, there's never a day off. There's always some kind of moving part. They're always doing something here. They're always making some moves. And that's what I said. I got to give New York Red Bull. Again, the only thing I don't like is he's going to be putting on that Red Bull jersey, and I cannot stand it.
I mean, he's
But
going from one Red Bull club to another, so I mean, it kind of makes sense.
yeah, yeah. So I mean, you're pretty much like I said, you're affiliated. Um, again, so Jose, if you're checking in, what's your thoughts about and fans too? What's your thought about all these moves? New York Rebel makes a move, the FC Cincinnati makes a move, bringing giving Evan Lero the contract extension, so they're going to make sure that they don't lose anybody either.
Yep.
As far as a goaltender, so guys, if you're checking in, let us know what you're thinking. We're going to roll fast, go to a commercial break, and we are going to break down the playoff bracket. Once we get the video set.
All right, guys, it's time to talk about Sherry's Tickets. Sherry'sTickets.com is easy to use and has no hidden fees. The price you see is the price you pay. Pay less and play more with Sherry'sTickets.com. Save even more by using the exclusive promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. Do not pay hidden fees and save 10%. Why use any other ticket reseller and get those hard to come by tickets to the big game? If you need a more personal touch, give them a call at 610-494-5050. That's 610-494-5050. Sherry'sTickets.com also has great theater and concert tickets that are hard to get your hands on. Remember, do not overpay and save with the best at Sherry'sTickets.com. Save 10% using the promo code EOP10. That's EOP10. You'll thank us later. Sherry'sTickets.com.
Thank you, Dice. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate you, my friend. So again, guys, I don't know where my paper is, but I want to take who was right and who was wrong this weekend. Do you have it on the
I
bracket?
do not.
It's okay. The brackets are in though. Again, we had the best of three this past weekend, and so we're going to continue that conversation right now.
I'll put it to you
Also,
like this. I think the only one that I got wrong was Houston in the West. In the
yeah, I know.
East,
I said I went with Salt Lake City, and I was wrong about that. And then
in the East, I had the only one I had wrong was I chose I chose Columbus.
dude, I went 0 for 3, bro.
Dang, dude! Wow.
Yeah, I went 0 for 3.
Wow.
Yeah, I went 0 for 3. I took Dallas. Dallas didn't come up anywhere. I went to the
I
underdog
took
as well.
Seattle in that.
Yeah, so let's bring down the current matchups. I'm going to start from head to toe. The underdog, Kansas City, Sporting Kansas City is going to get their shot against Houston, 7 o'clock Sunday. Austin, how you feeling?
Honestly,
Who you going
dude,
with?
I'm liking Kansas City as the Cinderella story in the West.
Really?
Houston just had to drag out their final win. The final two games they both went to PKs. So
Right.
there's definitely a lot more, I guess you could say, nervous tension possibly around in the Houston locker room. Kansas City is
Yeah.
coming off of beating the second best team in MLS, technically, if you consider it, the way most people usually do is the top team in the West and the top team in the East are usually the top two.
Yeah, and
They knocked off St. Louis City, who were
one seed.
dominant all year long, and now they're going up against Houston, who had to scratch and claw against Salt Lake.
Yeah, they knocked off the 1 seed, and here they are. Like you just said, they got some momentum going. They just won to St. Louis and took care of business out there. Why can't they head on to Houston and take care of business? I'm going to roll with you. I'm going to take Sporting Kansas City I think I like the Cinderella story as well. We're going to face them this weekend football, but that's a whole different aspect. Um, Seattle hosting LAFC. Oof. Sunday night at 9:30. The
And
main
LA is hosting that, right? No, Seattle's hosting that.
Seattle. Seattle. That's in.
I like Seattle. I like Seattle to dethrone LAFC here.
Okay.
Seattle plays immensely better at home. And just like with football, the stadium gets really loud out there. So I mean, it's a lot harder to be able to pick up what people are saying. So you can't really adjust as well on the fly. And I feel like LA might be at a bit of a loss having to play with all that sound. I like Seattle Sounders FC moving on to the Western Conference Final to face Sporting Kansas City.
So this is where we differ. I'm gonna go LAFC heading down to the chip. The Western Conference Finals. That's I got LAFC taking this one just by experience. So that's what I got. So that's where we're gonna split. Or that's where we're gonna split the Red Sea.
Okay.
Uh, now coming over to the East, Orlando hosting the Columbus Crew. Who do you have?
Honestly, so what I had said about Houston, I feel totally differently about Columbus with how they pulled out their win. None of their matches had to go to penalty kicks. They were all decided in full time. So I feel like I mean, granted, I feel like Orlando had more time off, but
Yes.
I feel like Columbus has that momentum coming in
Okay.
from going through a hell of a fight with Atlanta United, and I like Columbus beating Orlando even though they're on the road.
Okay. I am going to take Columbus as well. I have Columbus going to win it. I think
So,
they're going to say
and then
sleeping giant sleeping.
Philadelphia beating Cincinnati.
What's that?
I have Philadelphia beating Cincinnati.
I
So
will check it.
I have 3 road teams winning their matches out of
Wow.
4. I
I
have
swear.
Seattle being the only team that's hosting winning.
This is where we part, my friend. This is where we part. I do not have the Philadelphia Union winning this one. I have the Cincinnati. I think I have FC Cincinnati winning. I know you want to call me the villain, but I have in
No,
theory.
dude, I'm not gonna call you a villain. It's okay to be wrong.
Yes, it is. I have in theory it's going to be the Battle of Ohio in the Eastern Conference Final. That's where I think it's going to happen. I just have that weird magical thing that's going to go down.
Because we're definitely not getting we're not getting Cincinnati Cleveland in anything that means anything in the NFL.
No, no, you're definitely not getting that. You know what I mean? By Narn. So I think that's what we're gonna get. That's what I see happening. But yeah, that's gonna be my take. As far as the bracket matchups, guys, if you are checking into the show, we want to know what's your takes. If you guys have any kind of bracket you guys want to break down, who you guys got winning this, this is gonna be some fun times. This is now one and done. Um, and we'll see if the Philadelphia Union. I mean, I hope that I'm wrong. I hope the Philadelphia Union can take things away. I hope that they bring their A game. So, and real fast to you, not to, or to my man Joe Hale, to what I currently saw. This was last week. Oh, so if you do have, it's going to be Apple TV. So Joe Hale, if you're still watching the show, Saturday games or Eastern Conference, Eastern Championship, Eastern side, uh, that is going to be Apple TV. That is going to be, if you're going to watch
Yeah,
Ohio to,
I'm pretty
uh,
sure all the semifinal matchups are on
mm,
exclusively Apple TV. I think.
you got one that's going to it's going to make Fox, and that is the Houston and Kansas City.
Wow, that's the one they
Yeah.
chose.
That out of the four, because it's Sunday, I guess, and it's prime time. Um,
And it is an
Yeah.
upset. It is an upset story team that
Yeah.
is playing. So I guess I get it. I guess.
Yeah, that's what they got selected. But Austin, I also though want to touch with you too. Speaking of this week, a little bit different familiarity with some soccer. Um, it's not exactly your normal kind of soccer this past, that's coming up this weekend. There's going to be no MLS action whatsoever, but there will be a we got some. Why is it skipping? Uh, we're going to get some fun cup stuff. So there's so explain what's happening this weekend.
So the U.S. men's national team is playing some matches. Most U.S. national teams are playing some either World Cup qualifying matches or just international friendlies. Um, Let me get the USMNT schedule really quick.
Yeah, I thought my computer's not showing it as well.
It for
I
us
had to
it's
touch it.
for us it's CONCACAF Nations League. We're playing the first leg of a 2-leg set against Trinidad and Tobago. First one is right now. It's in the 27th minute, tied at 0. The second leg of it, Trinidad's hosting, and that's on the 20th of November at 7 p.m. Um,
Wow.
who was the starting 11 for this match? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? There it is. Matt Turner in net. And
Matt
then,
Turner.
yep. And then Serginho Dest, Cameron Carter Vickers, Anthony Robinson, Yunus Musa, Gio Reyna, Weston McKinney, captains Tim Ream, Kevin Paredes, Malik Tillman, and Folarin Balogun were all the that was your starting 11 for U.S. men's national team.
And you're right.
Paxton and Brendan Aronson both on the squad, listed as subs, along with Miles Robinson, Alex and Dejas. A bunch of different solid names. Luca Della Torre, Miles Robinson, Ricardo Pepi, Gaga Slonina, Evan Horvath. I really do like this men's national team roster this time around.
Okay.
Not a huge fan of the coach, but that's that's a different conversation for a different time.
Yes.
Yunus Musa earned his 32nd cap, tying Josie Altidore, Landon Donovan, and Christian Pulisic for the most appearances by a men's national team player before their 21st birthday. He also made his 30th start, extending his record of starts by a USMNT player before turning 21. He had surpassed Landon Donovan a bit before that, who had held the record originally with 27. McKinney makes his 12th Nations League appearance. Just a bunch of fun little different notes that I happen to have here. It's Carter Vickers' first start since last year's win against Iran. Balogun starting in his 7th consecutive match. He has 3 goals and an assist in his 6 international appearances. So
right.
I do like the fact that we're getting Fuller and Balogun involved again, because he did do very well in the matches that we've seen him so far as a U.S. national. Still scoreless, so there's still plenty of time to be able to establish a lead and get yourself a bit of ground going into the second half of this, because it's going to be based off of total goals scored on the road for each team. So if you can pull a clean sheet here tonight, all you have to do is score 1 and you move on.
Okay, so I got US taking this one. I think it's going to be.
Oh yeah, I feel like US is going to score 2 at home, which counts as 1 towards your road total. And I feel like it'll end up being at worst an aggregate score of 1-1 going into the match at Trinidad. So just the talent that the men's national team has cannot be understated. Again, for me, it's more the coaching. The decisions that Berhalter makes are not my favorite. But so far so good. 30th minute, still scoreless.
All right, I'm going to answer a couple for the.
We have after this, I think next year in 2024 at some point we have what is that? Copa America, I believe it is, if I remember
Yes.
correctly, which is a very prestigious tournament that's being held here in the States this time around. And then you have the World Cup in 26. So, you know, a lot of big things coming through countryside for the United States. So yeah, overall, so far so good for the for this first leg.
Yeah, not bad at all. So we're going to look a little bit at the schedule here. Costa Rica taking on Panama. What do you have? Who do you have, rather?
I honestly, I like Panama. I like Panama a bit more than I like what I've seen from Costa Rica recently. But you
Okay.
know, that could just be me being dumb. But yeah, I like Panama at least to
Okay.
get the advantage going into the second match.
Okay, you got Panama. All right, I'm going to take. So I'm just throwing things at a dartboard here. I'm going to take. I'll go the opposite. I'll take Costa Rica. I'll go the opposite way. Tomorrow you got a double header. Jamaica taking on Canada.
Ooh, that's the match to watch right there, man.
Uh-huh.
Woo.
Uh-huh.
Holy jeez. I hate to do it to Blake, but I like Canada.
Oh, you got Blake in that. I can't take Blake. I mean, I gotta go with Blake.
Yeah, as much as I hate to do it to him.
Yeah, you got Jamaica taking on Canada.
And
Yeah,
then
that's gonna be a good one.
and then Honduras and Mexico
Let's go.
tomorrow at 9 p.m. I,
Uh,
I have to go
Mexico.
with I have to go with Mexico.
Yeah.
I have
You got.
to.
Yeah, you have to. You just because obviously you're thinking speed and all that stuff. So and of course my man Ryan checking in. He goes, "Gentlemen, what's up, Ryan? What's up, buddy?"
What's up, dude?
Um, and then and then you got Philly, United States taking on Iraq. So we'll see. I mean, it's like I said, a lot of soccer this week coming, and I think they got something up next week. I think next during the week or whatever.
There's a bunch of matches happening Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Those are all oh no, that's other stuff. Never mind.
So Ryan says, um, he goes, "What's this regarding? I don't know nothing about
Oh,
soccer." Well,
so
there's
this is an international tournament called the CONCACAF Nations League. It's basically just a fun tournament like how you've seen with the NBA in-season tournament. Um, this is just a fun tournament that's just another trophy to be able to add onto the mantle. It actually will give some people some potential spots in the World Cup, potential spots in the Copa America, which is another tournament that's going to be happening soon. So there are some implications to the tournament. The United States right now is playing a 2-match set against Trinidad and Tobago. We were just talking about the rest of the matchups that were in the current stage that we're in, which is the quarterfinal. This is the first set
Mhm.
of matches. It's we're playing right now, 34th minute, tied at nothing. Costa Rica, Panama play at 10 p.m. Jamaica, Canada play tomorrow at 7 p.m. and Honduras and Mexico play tomorrow at 9 p.m. It's been a tournament that's been running for a good while. Like I said, the implications are fairly great. You know, a lot of good international looks if you can get a chance to secure a high spot in these tournaments. Um, yeah, this is at the the MLS Cup playoffs are currently happening. But there
Yeah,
is
there's
a
like there's a lot going on, Ryan. So, but listen,
Matt. I want you to understand. Yeah, you've started a thing, and it's following you
uh,
everywhere you go.
what's that?
This Joey Wood thing. This. I've seen this
Oh,
happening
here we
on
go.
multiple shows, and I even
Hopefully,
chimed
Freddie.
in on it and added into the fun. And now Joey pulls the Freddie and Do card. I can't let this stand. I can't let this
Yeah.
stand.
No, you can't let it stand, man. But yes.
Any other name would have been acceptable. Amobi Okugo,
Let Joey
Car-
bust out some hot soccer knowledge.
Carlos Ruiz. Yes, the Union had a Carlos Ruiz at the same time that the Phillies had a Carlos Ruiz. That was
Get
a
out.
thing. That was a thing. Yes.
And listen, and not to shift gears. Listen, Ryan, I don't know if you caught any of the Union soccer this past week, but man, if you did, if you saw what they've done, they've obviously are heading down to the semifinals. To make that, if they get past the juggernaut,
the
the
top team in
juggernaut
the league in
league,
FC
if
Cincinnati.
they are
It's
going to the Eastern Conference Finals, but
it
they
is
have to get through the
literally
playoffs.
the tallest task left in the bracket is facing a solid number one, apparently, because Kansas City faced off against St. Louis City, who was number one in the West. St. Louis City was, and they got knocked off. So I mean, it's
Yes. Anything's possible. I mean, listen, this is a whole
playoffs are
new.
wild, dude.
Uh,
Yeah, Cincinnati. He his thing auto corrected tough for some reason to Yogi, which I think is really fun. But yeah,
all right,
Cincinnati is a very tough hill to have to climb.
Yeah.
I really do hope that that Philadelphia is up to the task like they were in the matches they were called to have to stand up very tough against New England in this best of three series. You know, we managed to finish it up in two, and beating them on the road was big because I feel like that gives you a bit of confidence going forward. Like, we can win on the road. We just did it.
Right.
So
And
having that confidence, I feel like, is part of what gets me to where I'm at currently. Is because you won on the road. So like that's almost like with bettors, you know, the team at home usually gets a certain amount of points. But if a team's coming off of a win on the road, it usually tends to balance that scale a bit for a point spread sometimes. So
right.
I feel like Philadelphia has a little bit of an edge coming off of a big road win. Cincinnati wrapped theirs up at home against New York Red Bull. So I feel like Philadelphia has that edge of, you know, having the success on the road in the playoffs already right now. But you know, again, Cincinnati was the best team in MLS for a reason. So you definitely can't overlook these guys. Joe, the new playoff format. He's asking how
Yeah.
we liked the new playoff format. I am glad that the first round is over.
I gotta be. You know what?
I was
I gotta be
totally
honest
fine
with.
with the previous aggregate system or even one and done. I feel like with how if you wanted to do this, you don't do this where the turnover from the end of your season to the beginning of your next one is such a minimal amount.
That, and
Like,
yeah,
if you make it to the final, for those of you that are tuning in that haven't tuned in before, here's the scoop. This season with just league matches was 34 weeks long. Then you add in 3 tournaments that Philadelphia and most of the teams in the league, I want to say a vast majority of the teams in the league participated in, and stretch those out to, you know, playing in 4 group stage matches, then your knockout stages, and getting, you know, say 3-4 matches into that. So you're adding 4 at maximum, maybe another 10 matches if you make it to the final of that tournament. So, I mean, you're adding so many different matches on, and then getting into the playoff format. You're like, we want to do a best of 3. Bro, there's not enough time. There is no, if you make it to the MLS Cup final, you have 6 weeks until your next season starts up. You don't have time to, you know, if you've been playing with an injury that you have to have surgery on, most guys do that in the off season. Now you're going to have to end up eating the bullet and missing a whole other year possibly, because of the fact that there's not enough time for you to be able to recover, get back into game form, let your healing process happen. So you're going to end up having to forego potentially a whole season, at worst a whole season, maybe a half, 2/3, you know, at any sort of an amount of time, and you could end up being a key factor for a team. And then you also look at this in the process of this whole postseason happening right now, the playoffs. They're establishing a whole new off-season system at the same time, and there are teams that are making moves that are still involved in the playoffs. But like, your team should be focused on playing in the playoffs, not having your off-season stuff all happening while you are also doing your playoff stuff.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
And Joe, to answer Joe's question here, he goes, I think it's good for the MLS for more playoff revenue. I hear you on that, Joe.
I 100% agree.
But the only problem is though, and here goes another one that kind of irks people, right? It's the whole deal that it's on Apple TV, and not everyone has it. I get some, and this is going to be part of the future because at some point you're going to have to get Apple TV or get some kind of streaming network because everyone's getting locked to it. But for the thing, though, I think the issue is that it's not going to really. Again, Austin just said, like, we just looked at it. We looked at the schedule. 3 out of the 4 games are going to be on Apple TV. There's only one that's making it to FS1 or Fox. So that's the part that hurts. Like, you got to be able to market these guys.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like part of that though is the fact that Apple decided to, throw as much as they could at the Lionel Messi deal. So it kind of,
Yeah, that's
kind
true.
of forced their hand into having to have them all exclusive, at least almost all of them exclusively on Apple TV.
And first of all, before I go any further with Joey Woods, please check him out tomorrow night. Steel Steps, 10 p.m. Friday nights. He likes to throw me or somebody into the Steel Steps. You never know what he's going to do. But anyway,
there's a good question.
Is the Union watchable on NBC Philly during regular season? I had the league pass, so I watched it on that. But yeah, believe it or not, it is.
They weren't.
No. Is it watchable? Is the Union watchable?
Like, would you be able to watch them on NBC Sports Philadelphia? Which I believe the answer is no.
No, you can't. You won't be able to watch them.
The only other spot outside of Apple TV that they would have a match on is Fox Soccer. Right. And that was, I think the Union got one match, and that was against Atlanta at like 4 p.m.
Yeah, I usually I misinterpret the question.
You and I did the post game for that.
Yes, we did do the post game show. But yeah, I mean, if they do, like, okay, if they were to take on by NBC Sports, I mean, I would love it. I mean, it would definitely help out.
I remember back when they first started, back in 2012, they had the matches on my PHL 17.
Yes.
That's where it became the CW.
Not anything but the CW.
Oh, please.
Oh, man. And the UPN.
Oh, gosh, UPN.
Yeah. UPN, that's when SmackDown was on there. That seems like a big missed opportunity by the MLS to have it on local broadcast. Not to have it on.
Well, then it would mean they wouldn't pull in as much revenue. But what they've done is they've to help. I feel like to help out with a lot of the broadcasting stuff, they've brought in a lot of like familiar voices for each team.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get one familiar voice from the team that's visiting, and one familiar voice from the home team. So that's why I want to say at least a vast majority of our matches on Apple TV, we've had Danny Higginbotham because we're used to him being there. He's one of our guys that we've always had. So they have him as part of the announcing team. So I feel like it's a good touch that Apple made, is to give each side in a match a familiar voice. So that way, no matter who you support in the match that you're watching, it's a name that you know. Well, a voice that you know, I should say.
All right, well, listen, guys, we are getting ready to wrap up here, but hold on real fast. We are going to get through a couple of great sponsors, and then we're going to finish up the show because me and Austin have a busy night ahead of us. So real fast, let's get into some of the great sponsors here at EOP.
All right, guys, let's talk about Cherry Law Firm. If you get hurt at work in a motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or affected by criminal law, you got to call David R. Cherry of the Cherry Firm. Call 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your rights. Again, that number is 610-565-0300. That's 610-565-0300 or go to cherryinjurylaw.com. Let David R. Cherry fight for your right.
There it is. And one more.
All right, guys, if you're a Philly sports fan and you want to travel with your favorite team, then travel with the best. Go to phillysportstrips.com. They have self-travel packages and full travel packages available with round-trip flights from the Philadelphia airport. Packages include direct flights, 4-night stays, all-inclusive tailgate parties, lower-level group tickets. Whatever you want, you got it with phillysportstrips.com. If you want to travel to an upcoming Phillies game, make sure you check out Philly Sports Trips. And do not forget, Philly Sports Trips has all the away trips for the Eagles' upcoming 2023 season. Jump on it now, because you do not want to lose out on all these great opportunities. Go to phillysportstrips.com.
All right, guys. Listen, we're getting ready to wrap up the show, but before we get out of here, Austin, one final prediction before we head into this weekend of just how are you feeling now that we talked about it a little some more? Are you feeling any confident heading in? Or are you still on the fence of something's anchoring your leg not to move any further?
I feel comfortable at 50-50 right now. There's still time for the match to arrive. But if you would like a current prediction that could potentially change before we go into the match on Saturday evening, it finishes at full time tied at 2. Philadelphia wins in penalty kicks 8-7.
Ooh, what a gossip! I like it. I wish I had that, but I'm still not there. But hopefully, within 9 days, my heart will change. But listen, guys, we really got to get out of here. I want to say thank you to everyone. Thank you, Austin. Guys, check Austin's handiwork. We'll be out here. I'll be writing up articles as well. Austin, the beat reporter for the Philadelphia Union, right here on Edge of Philly Sports. You can't beat it. Guys, have a great night. We'll catch you later. All right, buddy. See you later. I'll see you soon.